Good morning. So it's Friday. I've passed out 50 invoices this week. My reminder invoice, it says down at the bottom, important information, and I circle it with a red marker, and it says our regularly scheduled service will begin. We'll be beginning March 21st. You can expect a visit from us between March 21st and April 1st, depending on their where they fall. So what I did with Yardbook, and if y'all have questions about Yardbook, you want to see how Yardbook operates, just let me know, and if I see enough interest in it, I'll send out a video to you guys. I'll put a video up, and I'll just show you again how I use Yardbook. I use it maybe 20% of what Yardbook is capable of doing. That's about all that I use. Because that's all that I need. But it can do so much more. But I only need like about 20% of what it is. I want very specific things. But so when I quit mowing basically at the end of October, and then people went to like every once in a while up until March 21st, I never quit the recurring schedule. So Yardbook, I put their name in and their information in and how much I charge them per cut, and then I assign them I assign them a job, and a job is they fall on this day. I say, okay, on this day I'm going to cut their grass, and I just leave the time optional. I just don't put a time in, so everyone is due at midnight on that day, because I don't want it in like any specific order from them. So I do that to all my customers, and that's how I build my route. So Monday I have a set amount of lawns that I'm going to do, and I'll schedule them for, say I scheduled them for June 15th, and say that was a Tuesday or whatever. And then recurring job, yes, it's going to recur again. How often? Weekly. How many weeks? Every 2 weeks. When do you want to start? Well, let's start today on the 15th. And what day do you want it to fall on every 2 weeks? Well, let's make it that Tuesday. So every 14 days on a Tuesday, that yard's going to come due automatically. And then every 2 weeks that happens. So I did that with my entire business for my lawn service customers. In fact, I even did that with some pressure wash customers that said, hey, I want to see you back here again in April. So I made a job for them coming due April 1st with a call to confirm note. So what I did through winter is I never stopped the recurring jobs. So whoever comes due March 21st, I'm coming to do you. And that happens to be this week. So everybody that got an invoice this week, 50 customers got an invoice in their mailbox to make sure they got it. And then the people that like it emailed also got an email to ensure that they know that I'm still alive, I'm still kicking, I'm still their lawn guy if they're gonna have me. Oh crap, hold on, this is my guy. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. So as I was saying, I have it so they're just going to show up. So on the 21st of March, when I print out who I'm going to do, that's actually the people that were due this Monday, that got their invoice reminders Monday that, hey, we're coming back around. Please call if you need to cancel service. If they moved out and you're a new tenant and you don't wish to continue service, or if you have any changes to your account, please call as soon as possible so we can make the adequate changes for you. And here it is Friday, and I've passed out, I guess 46. I got like 4 to pass out today. So like basically 46 emails and printed invoices with 0 balances, but just what, the information went out. And I didn't get anyone to call yet to cancel. In fact, what I did get is the daughter of one customer of mine that I gave an invoice to, I think maybe Tuesday, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, called me yesterday, and I don't normally service her area, but route discipline, route density, very important. She needed a clean out because her yard's a disaster. It hasn't been done this year. And then she wants regularly scheduled service every 14 days. Well, I don't normally go to her neighborhood, but I do go through her neighborhood on my way to the senior citizen couple that I do, that I just recently did, that you guys saw a video on. where I took that tree down. Not the Sunday one, but a few days prior I did a video where I chopped down a, I don't know if it's an evergreen or what the hell it was. Chopped down half of it and left it for the county to take, and mowed the yard and everything. So there were the dogs barking at me and crap like that. So maybe you guys remember that one. It's like a week ago. So on my way to that yard, which is a good paying job, I now picked up a $40 every 2-week job. So now, instead of running all the way out there, which is kind of a pain, but it's a good paying job, instead of running all the way out there and then all the way back to come back to my neighborhood, because I don't want to let them go. I really like those people and they really like me. So, and I like the money I make on it. Although it's not feasible, it goes against everything I preach about route discipline and route density. But I mean, you know, sometimes you just do it. It's almost like, you know, you go out and you do a little job for grandma, you know. That's kind of the way I feel about them. So now I got something to break the route up. I got something that takes me to them that makes a little bit more money, and it falls on that Monday. So when I sold her on the cleanup job, and I sold her on the 2-week price, I let her know that, hey, your day is going to be Mondays, and after today you're not going to see me again until March 21st, which is a Monday, and I'll be there, and you know, that's it. And she was like, fantastic. And then and then she's an email, she wants her invoice emailed, so I don't have to print anything out. I just boop, boop, and gone, there it goes. So I got to do her house today, which is a mess. Her backyard is just a freaking disaster. Her husband strongly believed in the mullet. You know, the mullet, business in the front, party in the back. Well, he would mow his front yard and make his front yard look really nice, but he let the backyard go because he was busy. You know, he just worked a lot, and he's totally against me being there. He totally thinks he can do it, and the wife put her foot down and said no. So she works. She has her own professional business. She's paying me. She doesn't want him touching the yard anymore. She said she wants her yard back. She wants to be able to go out back and drink tea and read the newspapers. So that's why she wants me to do her yard. So that's what she's going to get. And so that was one call off of my reminder invoices. You know, the mother that I service that I'm passing by right now probably called the daughter and said, hey, you were interested in a lawn guy. Here, remember Dan? Call Dan the lawn guy. Or, you know, I sign my invoices Dan the lawn man, but you know, call Dan and see if he can do it. I serviced her all of last season, and I'm servicing her this season. And she went behind on some of her bills, a little bit of financial situations, but I helped her out. I bought her time, you know, no big deal. And you know, she's all caught up, zero balanced. We start the year off. I still got my customer, and she, you know, so I'm sure she appreciated that, and she sent my name to her daughter, free advertising, boom, picked it up, cuts my route down on that Monday, makes things a little bit more profitable for me, more efficient. And then so that's one. And then the other one is yesterday I dropped off invoices. I think this guy got an invoice either yesterday or the day before, I don't remember, because I went into his area. I messed up and I went into his area twice for invoice dropping. I forgot to drop some off, so I don't know if he got it Wednesday or Thursday, but he called me yesterday when I was eating dinner. You know, he got that zero balanced invoice, and then, you know, on it says that, hey, we're going to start, you know, in 3 weeks. And I guess he was just like, man, I need it now. And he kind of does. So he gave me a call. And he's like, is there any way you could come sooner? I was like, yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's, you know, it says right on there, just give me a call if you need anything done during the winter months. So he wants me to come out there and do his yard. And he asked me about pressure washing, and he's got a standard small 2-story house. So boom, $120, that's my flat rate price. And then he asked me, before he can ask me, I said, I'll tell you what, you know, I know you got a dog in the backyard, and he's got like a little 10 by 10 patio, little slab. And I want to use my surface cleaner now that I greased it up yesterday. I want to see if there's any difference in like vibration, like how it feels through the lawn. So I was like, hey, look, I'll tell you what, you're a great customer. You always pay your bill on time and fast. And, you know, you're with me again this year. So I'll do your house for $120. I'll mow your lawn for the $40. And I'll throw in that back slab for free because I know you got the dog and you got a new baby. and you know, you probably want to have that clean back there. You can sit out with the dog and the baby and stuff. And he was like, oh, I was going to ask you how much to do the back porch. I was like, man, I got you covered, dude. I'm going to take care of it for you. You're a good customer, so that'll be my baby gift to you guys. So awesome, you know what I mean? So I passed out those two, you know, I passed out all those invoices, but I actually have now over $200 in income to make today, where I actually had nothing scheduled for today, except I have that pine straw job I still got to do. That video I did where my buddy showed up and showed me how to put it down. I don't want to say any names because I don't want to be a spoiler in case you show up and watch the watch that video. Not show up, but in case you watch that video, I don't want to be a spoiler. But when I did that video, that house with my buddy, it was really getting kind of dark out. You know, it looked like it was going to rain, and I didn't want to spray the weeds and, you know, put the straw down and have the weeds come right back through because the rain washed the spray away. So I left, I went home, I put the video up, then it cleared up. So then I went back out to that customer's house with 20 bales of pine straw and put a couple bales out, and a big old gust of wind came and blew half my pine straw across the yard. So I was like, oh hell, screw that. So I took the pine straw and just laid the bales out pretty much in place where I'm gonna put them. And the customer came home and I said, hey dude, we're gonna just come back tomorrow, which would be yesterday. And he was like, yeah, there's no sense in putting this down and me paying for it if it's gonna blow away. And I was like, right, exactly. So I'll be back tomorrow. And he's like, well, no problem, I'm going out of town for the weekend. I'm like, great. So yesterday, it was still gusting up to 35 miles an hour, so I didn't do that yesterday. So yesterday I messed around, put up a couple videos with you guys, one on the trailers and one on the servicing the surface cleaner, greasing the bushings. So that pine straw job's getting pushed off to today. So now I got 20 bales of pine straw to put down. I might have to go and pick up 5 more. I might, or maybe 4 more. I might run a little bit short. So I got 20 bales of pine straw to put down, but I already cut the beds with the weed eater to make sure that they were, you know, edged nice. And I already, you know, because he does them himself, so he doesn't know how to like edge his beds and make a nice sharp edge from grass to flower bed. So I did that with the weed eater. I ground down the weeds, but I left some of the green for the spray to attach to. I sprayed the weeds. And so today, all I got to do, really, seriously, all I got to do is show up, throw out the pine straw, blow and tuck, and get off his property. So really, 20 bales of pine straw, about 45 minutes worth of work. I do that real quick, get that done, and move on. So today, but I'm not counting that as today's income. That's I'm just counting that basically as like for the week, so whatever. But today we're making a little over 200 bucks. I mean a fair good amount, over 200 bucks today from something I didn't even have scheduled. But those invoices that I passed out as little reminders kind of gave people a shot in the arm. You know, you got the warm weather, although today it's a little chilly, but you got warm weather, you got the weekend coming. We had some rain, weeds are popping up, so people are calling, so I'm getting them done. And then, but the real season, my 2016 lawn care season really starts March 21st. That's going to be, boom, that day. Looks like I already got, I think 10 or 11 are scheduled for March 21st, and it just goes from there. We got now 51, I believe, 51 scheduled for the first week. And they're going to be rough, man. They're going to be rough. Some people I've already visited and cleaned up at just regular lawn care price. Some people I visited and really charged them, you know, like today I'm charging this lady a lot of money for a good cleanup, but you know, that's going to make her job much easier when I revisit her when she comes due on the 21st. But there's a lot of people I haven't visited that their edging's going to be, you know, pretty thick. There's going to be a lot of debris in their yard, you know, from the winds that we've been having, a lot of garbage bags and styrofoam cups and solo cups and crap like that blowing around from neighbors' kids. And, you know, you just come across all that. The yard's going to be soft from the morning moisture on the grass, and then it dries, or not dries, but it, you know, the sun comes up and it goes into the soil, and every day we have that super wet, kind of frosty lawns. And by afternoon, it's you know, it melts down onto the grass, so it gets kind of thick. You know, the sand gets kind of really wet, I should say, not thick, but really wet. And you know, all that starts to play a role and really start to slow you down. So the first few weeks is going to be rough, but that's why I'm scheduling them also a little bit earlier. Really, we could wait until April to get everyone done. Like April 1st, you can start and cut down March's growth, but then it's really going to be rough. So that's why I'm kind of jumping the shark right now and letting everyone know, hey, I'm coming. The 3rd and 4th week of March, you're getting serviced, like it or not. And because I do that, and you know, then they're not going to be charged extra. You know, but if they're like, no, don't come till I call you, then I'm gonna let them know, okay, well, when you call me, you're gonna be paying more, substantial more, probably double. So you might as well just let me do it, because you're gonna be calling me in 2 or 3 weeks anyways, and then I'm gonna make you wait until you fall on your day, because route discipline, route density. I'm not gonna kill myself like I killed myself last year getting people lined up. I mean, I would drive, you know, 7 or 8 miles to a neighborhood to do a yard, and I'd advertise in that neighborhood. I'd put yard signs out. I would do all those things. I would drive 4 miles down the road to go do a yard, and then somebody would call me from that neighborhood I was just in and ask when I could do it. I'd be like, oh, I could do it today, because I want to line them up with the one I just did. And man, I did that for the first 2 or 3 weeks last year and went absolutely apeshit building my business up with all the new accounts I was picking up. And I mean, back and forth, building route discipline, and you know, having my density right there, so that way I can enjoy the fruits of my labor today. You know, this year I'm not doing that. I'm not really advertising for lawn business. I mean, I'm not in a rush to put any names on my trailer right yet. I might not even advertise my lawn business on my trailer. I might advertise house wash on my trailer, and you know, just try to build up a clientele. You know, get them done now and then try to sell them on a service for like January and February of next year, and start building up my yard book customers for house washing. And you know, I might just do that, so while I'm out mowing, people see my trailer and it's got big house wash, $70 one story, $120 two story, and just have year-round sign like that happening, and build up my pressure wash side of the house, because lawn business is self-building. I mean, at this point it is. You got 100 accounts. Once you have 100 accounts, 150 is right around the corner, because you're just out so much. People are always seeing you. People are always asking you for prices and to do their yard. You know, you have 10 yards, you're out a couple times a day. You have 100 yards, you're out every day, all day long. So your chances of people just walking up on you and saying, hey, give me your shit, I mean, hey, how much to cut my grass, you know, is just huge. So I might just put like lawn care on the back ramp, like lawn care pressure wash service with my phone number, but on the sides of my trailer put, you know, nice and big house wash, just like my yard signs, house wash, you know, also available, driveway, sidewalk cleaning, you know, stuff like that. I just haven't decided yet, and nothing is going on my truck. I'm not putting any letters on my truck. Not lettering my truck. I want to be able to utilize the county dumps this year. Last year I couldn't do that, and that kind of sucked, because I ended up having to pay like $70-something to go to the dump to drop off you know, yard waste, and I had to charge a customer for that. And it's like, no way, man. There's so many free county dumps that will take this stuff. You know, so forget it. And I live in the county, I don't live in the city. So when you live in the county, you can go to the county dumps. You just have to show them proof of residency in the county, which my license plate is all you need. I got that. So that's the deal. That's where I'm at right now. So that's my opening monologue. Hope that wasn't too confusing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mow this corner house right here and get it cleaned up, and then I'm going to turn around and go meet somebody at that other cleanup job. And I told them, look, show up, work for about an hour, I'll throw you a $20 bill, go haul this crap off. And so he's just going to rake and fill a garbage can for an hour. I'm going to throw him a 20. That's going to make life a lot easier on me. So I'm not bending down and working the rake so much. And while he's doing that, I'll be in the front yard doing weed eating and edging and getting the yard cleaned up in the front yard. And then I'll start working the backyard with him, get him out of there. That way I can just run back there. I'm not going to have to mow. It's all leaves and gumballs. I'll show you. And then from there, I got to go back home, drop my lawn trailer off, hook up my pressure wash trailer, run up here and do this pressure wash job, get that done so he can have a nice house for the weekend. And then when I'm done with that, I'll have my blower with me. I'm going to run to the other house that's on the way back home and drop the pine straw and have my blower to tuck it and call it the day. Whew. Big day today, but not really a big day today, but it's a big day today. And if I can get everything done, like I said, we're making well over 200 bucks today. All my customers are going to be happy. We picked up a new account. It's right in the middle of route discipline, route density, and so far so good. So thanks for hanging out. Let's get busy. really thick stuff. Not bad, not bad, not bad. We're getting there. And away we go. So I think the customer will be happy with their first cut of the year. You tell me. Looks pretty good. And what I did is I just kind of ground down some of the weeds there. And I would spray, but I'm coming back here at some point fairly soon today to do the house wash. You see, it's a big old 2-story. That's way up there. 2-story with super high gables, high peak ceilings inside. So gets interesting. Where's that dog at? Oh, that's that one. This was some really thick stuff here, guys. Really thick. But yeah, this house wash, this will take me about 45 minutes. Look it up there. This will be fun to do. We'll do a separate video of the wash. But hey, and maybe when I'm done, this one will let me go. Look at that. I don't know if that shows on camera. Oh, look at this. Hang on. Oh, it doesn't show. Man, that's just green. But these people are friends, so maybe when I get this one done, this guy here will be like, hey, do me too. So that's a 2-story. That'd be nice. 240 bucks. About an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of work. No driving. All right, sorry about the interruptions while I was mowing. One was my wife, the second one was my wife, and the first one was a customer. So let me call that customer and then I'll tell you guys the backstory on that one. And I'll be right back. Okay, got my coffee, and so the backstory on that phone call from my customer was, that's one of the bills I passed out. I don't know if they got it yesterday or the day before, I don't know. But gosh, excuse me. I gave them a zero balanced invoice, you know, reminding them, you know, whatever. And so he called me today, and I told him I'll call him back, you know, in 10 minutes when I was done. So I called him back, and so here's the deal. Him and his wife are closing on a brand new house today, basically in the same area. They're renting that house that I was servicing last year, and they're moving out March 31st, I believe it is. So we're probably gonna just do one, maybe 2 cuts, but probably just do 1 cut at that house so they leave that house in good shape. And they're moving into their new house March 31st. They're closing on it today at 11. Congratulations. And actually his wife was in a horrible accident and burned bad, and was in the burn center in Augusta, Georgia for a long time. And so thank God she's doing good, and everything's doing good there. And I mean, they're just a great family. So they're closing on a house today at 11, and so he wants me to go ahead and get it pressure washed so they can, you know, send pictures out and stuff, you know, to their family. It's their first home. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. I was like, you know, I'm gonna go do a clean out right now. I got a guy meeting me there who's gonna help rake and stuff like that. I already told you guys that. So let me get that clean out done. I'm gonna swing back by my house, and I'll hook up my pressure wash trailer. I got one to do, then I'll come do you. And then, so today's just turned into darn near $400 day off of those invoices I passed out this week. So I mean, that's pretty that's pretty neat. And so I'll get that pressure washed. Nobody's living there, so there'll be nothing there. You know, the porches and everything are all empty, so I don't have to work around patio furniture and stuff like that. Show up, wash the house, and leave. So that's pretty cool. So there's the backstory on that one. And then, of course, I'm going to have their yard. So I'm going to have 2 yards from this customer to do in March, because I'm sure they're going to want me to do their yard in March before they move in, because it's probably going to be horrendous. And then we'll take a look at that. So that's probably going to be a $40 yard, replacing the $40 yard that I'm losing when they move. but I'm probably gonna do 2 yards. The one before they move out, and the one before they move in, and the pressure wash. So that you know, passing that stuff out, there's no guarantee that they were going to call me. They might have just been, you know, just move and think, well, you know, let me get this lawn guy I see right here mowing lawns and see how much he charges. You know, I mean, you just never know. So passing out those bills, you know, like I said, it's a reminder that, hey, I'm still around. I'm still your lawn guy. If you still want me, I'm here. You know, if you don't want me, please let me know, so I know if I need to go out and push some advertising, because by March 1st, you want to have all your advertising out. You want to be out there, man. You want your business cards passed out. You want everything done, because, you know, like it or not, cold or not, weeds are going to start growing. People are going to start getting outside, man. They're tired of being cooped up in their homes. They're going to want their yard serviced. You need to have that business card on their door, man. And that's going to be the shot in the arm that's going to get them to give you a call and get things done. So that's the story on that. And then the other interruption was my wife calling about a skillet, cast iron skillet we have. If she could use it for cooking dinner tonight. It's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. So silly little questions while I'm working, you know. A nice white Ford Ranger off for sale, $8,400. So I'm gonna head over here. I'm supposed to meet the guy that's gonna help me out, so I can get him going. I'll have him raking and stuff in the back, and I'll be working in the front. And then when he's done raking up and blowing all them piles, he's probably just gonna blow everything in one area. When he's done doing that, I'll take a look at it and see. So be right back, guys. All right, guys, so I'm here at the cleanup house. See all this gumballs and tree limbs and lots of oak leaves, and then a lot of weed eating. But I mean, it's not a very big backyard, so I'm just gonna have him start cleaning it up, and then I'll come back here with the weed eater. But yeah, that's a mess. Whew. This would be a pretty good before and after. Oh yeah, now there's a car in the driveway. Yesterday that car wasn't here, so I'm not gonna have the camera on just yet until I figure out what's going on. So I'll be back. Alright guys, so we're done. Remember how bad all that was? All the weed eating that needed to be done, so got all that knocked down. Blew all the leaves in, mulched it all up with the 20-inch, picked up all the twigs, of course, mulched it up, blew it into a pile, and picked it up, and there we go. Not bad. It's about 11:30 right now, so whatever. Just took about a little over an hour, I guess. Not bad. Can't complain. But my day just got freaking huge. The guy who wants me, the one I got to do the pressure wash, or the pine straw, is now asking me to do the pressure wash as well. So that gives me two stories and one story that I need to go do. So that means I'm gonna have to go buy bleach. So it's a good thing I'm real close to that place. So I'm gonna go get me some bleach, and then I got 3 houses to pressure wash and about 20 bales of pine straw to lay down. And it's 11:30. Gotta love it. So I'll be back. Hey guys, so I just picked up my bleach. You might see it in the back of my truck. Maybe you see that blue container back there. So there's the 15 gallons of bleach. I got probably, oh man, I don't remember. I think I'm sitting at probably about 7 or 8 gallons on board my pressure wash trailer. I got enough to do 1 2-story and probably 1 1-story. But I got 2 2-stories to do and a 1-story, and it just makes sense. I was right there. It just makes sense to run over there and you know, get the bleach. So I just paid $50. It's like $50.29 for 15 gallons of really strong bleach, you know, not store-bought bleach. So, you know, 15 gallons, 15 goes into 50. That's with tax. So, you know, you're looking at $3 something a gallon with tax, right? Yeah, so $3 and some odd cheap cents a gallon with tags for the bleach, and that's pretty awesome. Now, you know, you try to use like bleach from Walmart and stuff like that, you know, to sit the 8% or 8.25%, whatever it is. You can't do like what I do with this and thin it out with some water. Like I thin this out with some water because the siphon I have is a really big siphon, so it's drawing a lot of bleach. So I mean, I thin it out, and you know, I've used over-the-counter bleach before. I've gone for the best deals I could possibly find, like $2.85 plus tax for a gallon of concentrated bleach at Dollar General when it's on sale. I've done that, and so I know, yes, that bleach works, but you got to let it sit a lot longer. You got to use it a lot stronger, you know, at least around these parts with the mildew and stuff that we have here in the South. So it really does make a huge difference when you know, you buy it in bulk like this. And then I always say, man, if you can buy in bulk, you know, do it. And also, if you can always buy from the same place, do it. Because, you know, like right now, I didn't have an empty drum to return, and there's like a $15 charge that, you know, they need to send back because they pay for the drums and, you know, back and forth, whatever, but they want a return. And if you don't give them a return, they charge you like 15 bucks for it. Well, she didn't charge me, you know, she was like, do you have a return? And I was like, no, but, you know, I might be able to bring it to you today or whatever. She's like, oh, you're good, just bring it next time. And, you know, and it's like, awesome, man, you know what I mean? So, and she didn't like write a note and put a sticky on her counter or anything like that, you know. It's just, you know, that's just, she knows me now. I mean, I've bought probably 25 things of bleach from her just this season alone. So, you know, like from late fall through today. So, I mean, you know, she knows me that that's where I go to get my bleach. There's no chance that I'm not. But today really did turn out to be a big day. I'm still waiting for the text message to come in from the guy who's closing on the house at 11. So it's 11:40 now, so you gotta figure they're deep into it. And I'm probably not gonna get that text message anytime soon. So what I gotta do now, I'm gonna go home, I gotta drop this trailer in the garage, get my John Deere walk behind, use that, go to the backyard, put the trailer on the front caster of the John Deere walk behind, and then back my pressure wash trailer out, bring that over, hook that up to my truck, and take off. And I got to go to back up to Pooler where I was earlier this morning where we did the yard. So we're going to do that 2-story house, then we're going to cruise down and we're going to do the 1-story house where the pine straw is, then we're going to cruise down and we're going to do the 2-story house that the guy's closing on if he sends me the address in time. And then, time permitting, I'll cruise back halfway back up to Pooler, where I'm going to go do the pressure wash now and put the pine straw down. And that way I'll have a free and clear weekend to be with my kids, and everybody will have their work done and everybody will be happy and thrilled. And you know, that's the way I like to do it. So I'm going to have a hard late day, but it sure is turning out to be a big day. Gosh, I mean, we're making a good chunk of change now. Somewhere over 400. Yeah, somewhere over 400. I mean, look at me. The hard work's done. The mowing's done. Now it's just a matter of spraying a hose, you know? I mean, how hard is that? And of course, the stress of making everything line up. And that's one thing I'm really, really big at. Now, one thing I want to talk to you guys about. This is really, really important. My videos. My videos are like run-on videos, okay? That's the way I did it in 2015, and that's the way I'm going to do it this year because that's just my personality, all right? So I'm going to say things in today's video possibly, and you're going to go, what? What are you talking about? You got to go back and you got to watch the previous videos. You have to. I used to always say in my other ones, go back to the beginning of time and you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I'm saying. You'll see my examples. So, you know, if you watch something and you just don't really kind of get it, I don't mind if you ask a question. Believe me, leave a comment and ask a question. But I might refer you to a video where it's greatly explained because it's very difficult for me to answer all the comments that I get. You know, I try to read everybody's comments, and I really, really do. And, you know, and I try, even if all I have the time to say is thank you, you know, I hope you guys know. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I have 15 to 20 alerts on my little thingy, and it's like, wow. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I get out of bed, maybe go use the bathroom or something, or my dog's chewing on my ear, so I go let my dog out, and I look and I'll have like 6 things. And some of you know what I'm talking about, because you can see maybe there's a time, you can see the time I comment to you, man. I sometimes I'm commenting 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll answer a few comments and then I go back to sleep. But my videos are kind of like I don't want to say a TV show, but they're almost like a TV show where, you know, everything runs on. My pressure wash advice and my examples and my samples and how I do things. You know, there's nuggets of information. There's tidbits of information in every single one of the videos, like you're gonna see today. Today's video that you're watching right now. Mowing videos, working videos, not just like how to clean this or how to edge that, but like my daily video, my daily working videos. There's gonna be nuggets of information mixed all in there. And I'm gonna say, you remember I talked about this, or remember when I was showing you that, or this is why route discipline's important, or it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. You know, all that stuff, you might scratch your head and be a little bit confused on what I'm talking about, but that's because it's in previous versions or previous episodes of this running daily vlog that I'm going to be doing. And with that, my daily vlogs are not going to have like all types of master editing going on. There might be moments where I press, you know, record on the camera and you see me walk out of frame for a minute to get on my machine and then start mowing. And then, you know, I'll try to end my mowing at the camera and kill it right then and there. But there might be some times where you're like, huh, what's going on here? It's because I don't have the time. I want to give you guys what you want, and I read your comments, so I see what you want. But I want to be able to give you guys what you want and provide you guys with, you know, good content and good video, and keep y'all, you know, entertained and coming back for more, of course. But I also don't want to get burned out. And last year I was getting burned out. I was spending 3 hours on a video. You know, making a video would take me about 3 hours to edit, and then I would be, you know, answering comments. So, you know, I'd get home from mowing 10, 12, 15 yards, and then I'd be spending, you know, 3, 4 hours on my computer, and, you know, my wife and kids are looking at me like, what the hell? So I don't want to fall into that again. So what I'm doing this time is I'm trying to place my camera in specific areas where I'm working, so that way I can cut down on the stuff that I have to edit out. And so don't be afraid to you know, fast forward by just a tick to save a little bit of time if you need to try to keep things going for yourself. You know, I'm not trying to waste anybody's time, but at the same time, you know, I do have a family, I do have a business, and I got to run my business, and I got to take care of my family. But I also have an obligation to you guys, you know, that I want to be able to provide you guys with information as often as possible. And I think that's more important than me spending hours trimming video, when all we all have to do really is just, you know, fast forward a little bit, just a tick. You know, I'm not going to have like 5 minutes of freaking dead time. I'll edit that out, but it really does get extremely time consuming to do these videos, and, you know, dubbing in music and all that gets really, really hard. So there'll be a time and a place where I do stuff like that, but for the most part, this is just going to be, you know, just you following me sharing my experience, giving some advice where I can, and having some fun and making this community work for each other and learn from each other. So, all right, let me hook up my other trailer.